Because obviously the first thing Ozzy Osbourne is going to do right after he dies is talk to a random YouTuber. Oh, the Queen's been busy. I feel loved. Don't, it's a trap. What news networks are doing this? The little Lizzie at the bottom left is sending. Imagine she's just like, Spanish Armada. You'd be like, ooh, afterlife. How does this work? Exactly. Aside from this being ridiculous, how is he managing to make it so creepy? And he's talking to Queen Elizabeth II the day she died because she had nothing more important to do. Can I spell? It's right there. But how else are people going to know that she's dead? Oh, it's adorable. I'd be so annoyed if I was dead and someone told me my age. Like, come on. She loved her grandson. Who would have guessed? Guys, will you avoid the light with me? Hey, everybody. Oh, professional streamer. Yeah, that one. I don't even want to be on the screen. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Hello. I do want desktop audio as Kari just leaves. Purple Rain is streaming right now. If anybody would like to go over to Purple Rain, then I get it. She's doing some Sims 4 chaotic gameplay, as always. But I do want to show you something. Look at my mug. It is huge. And it's a pumpkin. This bad boy holds 2 cups of tea. It also doesn't fit under my water dispenser properly. So I've just given up with like balancing it. And I just fill it up with the jug now. So Rainbow knows a bit about what's been happening in the community. Because I haven't changed it. I realised as I went live, I was like, shit, I haven't changed any sound. I am on it. It is on my list. I just haven't done it. Because I need to go find the sound clip, download it, trim it down, save it, and then upload it. And it's just like a whole lot of steps that I haven't got around to doing yet. But I'm on it, I promise. But yes, things have been happening in the paranormal community. And it's been kind of stressful. Tea, yes. Well, it's not been as stressful for like me as it was to the person that it happened to. Obviously, not trying to like detract from that. But a big debunker called Beardo Gets Scared got 3 copyright strikes. I am going to do a video about this. I was supposed to record videos today. I got to sleep at like somewhere between 7 and 8 a.m. because of a chronic pain flare. It was great. So slept in and didn't record videos today. Considered cancelling the live stream, to be honest, because I just feel like shit. But here we are. I'm just being observed from the desk, by the way. Kari is like there. Yeah, so a couple of days ago, let me just fact check myself. Oh, sorry, Kari. I did not mean to boop you on the nose. I am very sorry. I am very sorry, darling. Yeah, 5 days ago, Beardo Gets Scared went live, basically saying that unless he can get these copyright strikes overturned, his channel is gone. So what had happened is 2 different paranormal channels had struck him at different times, or kind of at the same time, but it may or may not have been a brigade. It kind of looks like it was a brigade, which is against TOS, but you know. So when you get 3 strikes, your account automatically goes into the termination stages. And you get like 28 days to be like, hey, no, this is unfair. I haven't done nothing wrong. And try to stop the process. YouTube were about as helpful as YouTube ever are, to be honest. And it's pretty much only because a lot of the community was blowing stuff up on Twitter and like tagging the shit out of YouTube that this got resolved moderately quickly, at least from like what's been said and what I'm aware of. Because also the strikes were not valid strikes, it was malicious striking, which is also against TOS. But it was very much from a, I don't like what you said about me, so I'm gonna strike you. This is a threat. This is a warning. The first channel literally asked Beardo to look at their channel and be like, hey, could you tell me what you think? And so Beardo did. And because it wasn't positive, they struck. They also went out of their way to like brigade, try to get other people to join him. And one channel either did it independently or did join the brigade. And they've had beef with Beardo for a long time. They're actually the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to me actually starting debunking. But from what I can tell, this is all over Jamestown and Jim Jones. Also want to do a video on this. Well, it'll be probably part of the same video. But there's a church that Jim Jones, who was, for lack of a better term, the Kool-Aid cult, and he frequented this church when he was like a teenager, and so people like to go to the church and ghost hunt there. I'm not really sure that's appropriate considering how fresh that tragedy is, but people do it. I'm trying to work out what I do and don't want to say. Basically, Ghost Club Paranormal went to this church about a month ago, or they published the video a month ago, investigated there and played the death tape from Jamestown on video. And so I didn't see Beardo's video on it, but I can imagine that it was not positive. I can't imagine a situation where something like that would have been positive. As far as I'm aware, Beardo took all his videos, well, most of his videos down, and I doubt that he'll be putting them back up. But I saw arguments in Ghost Club Paranormal's like posts and comments basically saying, well, Beardo, you know, attacked us or was bullying us or whatever, but didn't say anything when Khaleesi did it. So then I went to go look over at what Khaleesi had done. And 2 years ago, Khaleesi had dressed up as Jim Jones and then gone and investigated the church and tried to provoke a response. And I don't agree with that either, but it's not as bad as playing the death tape. And I did see one of their arguments was that, well, Beardo criticised us, but he didn't criticise Khaleesi. That's because him and Khaleesi are friends, and if you're a friend of Beardo, you're immune to criticism, basically. I'm not getting into friend politics, especially when people are YouTubers. I don't have enough friends that are YouTubers to really have an opinion on how I would handle something like that. Or, you know, controversial YouTube friends. But I do get their point, but I as I said, I don't know how I would handle that as a debunker. But their response to start striking Beardo over it is ridiculous. It's low, it's pathetic, it's childish. So they claim that they claimed him, and I've dealt with the claims, copyright claim side of YouTube a lot because of the Sims stuff and using copyright-free music that then gets flagged and then you have to dispute it and then it may or may not get unclaimed. It's the whole thing and it's stupid because I've had videos that I've re-uploaded get claimed the first time and then be just fine second time, and it's AI, there's absolutely no rhyme or reason to it. So what happens is somebody claims you counter it or you dispute it, you may or may not win. If you do win, it goes away. If you don't win, if you're monetized, I assume there's some sort of like monetization split between the two channels. But again, if you don't win, you can appeal it. And it says in little text down the bottom, if you appeal this, you may end up with a copyright strike. If you get 3 copyright strikes, your account starts down the termination line. So either Ghost Club Paranormal are telling the truth and they claimed him, then it got messy with disputes, and they knowingly kept rejecting the appeals, knowing that it would end up in a claim, a strike, or Beardo has said is that it was just straight strikes. It wasn't claims, it was strikes. And we did see in Beardo's live stream that he brought up a screen that in his analytics it said that he had 3 strikes, but it doesn't say how they started off. So I don't know who's telling the truth, who's lying, who said what. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether it started as a claim and got pushed to a strike or whether it started as a strike. But what Beardo said is that they striked him the first time and he'd spent hours going down the list trying to remove all his videos before he could get another strike. And as he was going newest to oldest, they must have been going oldest to newest and got one of the ones he hadn't got to yet, and then he had 3 strikes. He was doing lots of things behind the scenes, YouTube legal, all that stuff, trying to like figure out what he could do to save his channel. And then he went live. I was not in that live, I don't think. I'm always like 3 days late to everything. I am always 3 days late. But I did watch it back, all of it. And it was really sad to see him like that, to be honest. You do not deserve to lose your livelihood over an opinion that somebody doesn't like. The copyright claim is for intellectual property. It's not to put somebody in a timeout because they have an opinion you don't like. And luckily all the strikes got overturned, but the first channel removed their strike at like basically the final hour, then did like a victory lap of like, oh, I'm the victim or whatever he was doing. Oh, like, I'm such a good person, I removed the strike, I saved Beardo's channel. But except he didn't, because Ghost Club Paranormal had actually, from what I've heard, it was 4 strikes. And because one came off, the other one slotted in and took its place. When you know that 3 will take down a channel, that's why. Why are you doing that? Other than to try and take the channel down. It's completely unnecessary. But because of all of this, I'm not so, well, to be honest, nobody cares about me yet because I'm not monetized. But I'm hoping to get to the point of monetization one day. And I don't really want my prior decisions to come back and bite me in the ass. But I also don't want, like, I'm glad this didn't work. Yeah, it's shitty malicious behaviour. I don't want this to work. I mean, it's like, I'm glad this didn't work because then other fake channels could start getting ideas. I mean, they probably started to get ideas anyway. But it's like, really, it's how do I handle debunking from here? Like, I like doing like the Wheel of Misfortune and everything, and what I do is transformative. It does count as transformation. It is legal. It is within my right to do it. But if I'm at risk of somebody getting butthurt and throwing a tantrum and losing my channel over it, then it gets complicated. Because they were striking over like 30 seconds, 45 seconds of footage. So yeah, I've got things to think about. There's also things that I can do. Like, I know that a lot of people who like pure reaction channels, they like edit the voice and they play it in 1.5 times speed and things like that. Or like Seg's put like a Seg mask overlay over his TV clips. So there's possibly things that I can do, but it just sucks that this has been ruined or tainted for basically everybody. And it comes to something when you have other fake channels going to live stream and being like, yeah, this ain't right. So, you know, props to them for that. And I didn't think we would get to a point where we are thanking people who, well, obviously there's nuance to how we're thanking the fake channels for reacting. Because like nobody's thanking people for being doxxed and death threatened and all the rest of it. But like we are thanking the people that will like cuss us out on their own channels, and we're now thanking people for being utter, either ignoring us, flat out ignoring us, or being utter arseholes, like cussing us out on their own channels, and it turns into like a messy back and forth purely because they're not copyright striking us. I just didn't think we would ever be in a situation like this because I don't want to change my style. Well, obviously I want to like progressively grow and get better at like video making, especially within like this niche, because there's like a couple of videos where I've just like dead read articles and I'm like, babe, you're dyslexic, why did you do that? Yeah, in terms of like reading articles, I could go for like a more storytelling point of view, but the thing is, whether I'm reading it off an article or reading it off my script, I'm still dyslexic as fuck and it's still gonna suck. But I don't have a working memory, so I can't just like make shit up as I go. Like now I'm just like, But my pumpkin mug, you haven't seen it, so there you go. This was an unusual situation where it was an orchestrated attack and the copyright strikes were the weapon of choice. Yeah, it very much was, but unfortunately, we don't know if there's going to be a next time. If there is a next time, who is going to be the target of that attack? And it's either we figure out a way to prevent it from affecting us, or we just hope that it doesn't. Well, it's not the first time and it won't be the last. Mike at Real Evidence had 2 the week before, and JCP have had issues with Seg and Beardo in the past. Yes, it definitely won't be the last, and yeah, it's been the first time I think that we've ever got to 3 and we've had a possible channel termination. But yeah, I know that the copyright system has been thrown around like a debunker's timeout, for a while. They're just trying to make themselves look less slimy. Same as Spectral, saying he withdrew his through compassion. I don't know anything about Spectral, but if everybody is correct about him being quote-unquote narcissistic, then it's not a word I throw around lightly, which is why I'm like saying that's what other people said. I was married to a narcissist. It's not fun. Be very careful if you cover that cult. Yeah, I think even if I did, they wouldn't care about me at this size, but you never know. Then it very much could have been holding it over Beardo and then getting fed off of the attention of that, and then getting fed off of the fear and the upset Beardo was very rightly going through. And then when it got boring, and then because he even came into the chat and started taunting Beardo, but when that got boring, he removed the claim. Because I kind of had if he was as narcissistic as everybody was saying, I kind of had a suspicion he would remove the claim, because then he gets to play hero. He's the one that saved Beardo's channel. You know, he may have been the one that put it in danger in the first place, but we're just going to ignore that. But he's the hero that got to remove the strike and saved Beardo's channel. And he's not a bad guy, really, because that's the sort of villain hero complexes that not all, but some narcissists like to play with. My ex-husband was one of those. Yeah, my ex-husband liked to put me in danger and then save me from the danger. So I've had experiences with those kind of people. So yeah, if everybody was correct about their assessment of Spectral and not just throwing around unnecessary buzzwords. I'm sorry, what a prick. Yes, he is. He's already played that card. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know much about Spectral, so like, this is literally the first time that I've heard of him. How irrelevant he is to me. But yeah, that was sort of my assessment of that personality. Most people watch me over on Twitch. If I go over to that screen, you'll be able to see people. You just have to put up the spinning. Yeah, I need to get a just chatting screen where I have it up so I'm big and you have the chat as well, since I have the two chats running. I also need a more aesthetically pleasing chat because this was done in about 10 minutes and kind of sucks. Narcissistic type people are dangerous to play with, but the name has to stay. Chatty chat is great. Okay, I will keep it the chatty chat. Although for me to keep it the chatty chat, you guys actually have to be chatty. It's the rules. No lurking, just chatting all the time. No, you can lurk. We are aesthetically pleasing, thank you very much. You are all beautiful people, but that chat box leaves a lot to be desired. Chatty chatting in the chatty chat. Exactly, Ben. Narcissist is a word that gets thrown around so much. They're genuinely dangerous abusers, and I wish it wasn't used lightly all the time. Yeah, same, which is why I was like, unfortunately I know that. Yeah, which is why I was saying I don't know enough about Spectral to make that sort of assessment, but that's what other people have been saying. So that was the kind of line or pattern of behaviour I was expecting from him. Yeah, narcissist is shorthand for a dick nowadays. Yeah, we use proper serious labels as such. We do, and it's not acceptable, to be honest. The amount of women I know who have been abused by narcissistic men is honestly disgusting. Yeah, it's not great, Ben, to be honest. What surprised me was even Ghost Club's own followers were saying they had stepped over the mark. They have stepped over the mark. The strike system is for intellectual property. It is not to put people who you don't agree with in time out. Yes, you do get narcissistic women too. You get narcissistic people. They are not genders. So people can be narcissistic. They exist. They can be any flavour of person. It just so happens you hear more about the men, but women are more likely to report. So that also needs to be taken into account. Yeah, I'd say narcissism isn't gendered at all. Some forms of abuse is weighted towards certain genders, but not emotional abuse. Yeah, I can agree with that to an extent. Also, statistics are skewed by reporting. If it's not reported, then... I mean, abuse just across the board is underreported, but women statistically are more likely to report than men. Men are more likely to report if their abuser was a man. If their abuser is a woman, then it gets made fun of, made light of. It's very underreported because of that. That's where the system fails. I mean, the system fails across the board, to be honest, Pomp, but yeah, men don't report. All victims matter and all abusers are trash. Agreed. absolutely agree. I'm gonna pin. You put it in. Oh no, you put it in 2 messages, but I'll pin the important part. Both parts are important, but you know what I mean. From what I can tell from looking at the Beardo Ghost Club situation, is that Ghost Club don't like the fact that Beardo is at times hypocritical. I mean, people are going to be people. Beardo doesn't speak publicly on his friends. Beardo has a lot of friends. People can make their own decisions. But from looking at it, and I want to do a video on it, but I don't know how familiar people are with Jamestown. Jim Jones, as I've said before, lack of a better term, it's the Kool-Aid cult. He frequented the church when he was a teenager, and people go and investigate that church and try to piss his ghost off and paranormal investigate there. It's the summary of it. Ghost Club went there like a month ago and played the death tape from Jamestown in that church on video. And it was of the sermon Jim was giving when he was handing out the cyanide flavor aid. And you can hear some people agreeing with him, children crying, other people disagreeing with him, being like, I don't want to die. And they didn't just play a little bit of it, they played it. Like, it was throughout their investigation. I watched the video, there was a lot of it. It was, I can't stand children crying. It was a lot. If you look into the Jamestown massacre at all, then not everybody drank the flavor aid. There are injection marks on a lot of the bodies, so it was not just a mass unaliving. Well, it was a mass unaliving. It was not a mass self-unaliving. It was, you know. And over 900 people died in that, and that wasn't that long ago. Like, their grandkids could realistically still be alive. You know, people who remember their family that died there are very much still alive. And I don't think it's appropriate to be talking on true crime that is that recent. Like, there are exceptions to this, but I think realistically you should not be covering true crime until the grandchildren of the victims are dead, because realistically, how well do you know your great-grandparents? I mean, some people do know their great-grandparents, so maybe it needs to be like great-great or great-grandchildren need to have passed before you start looking at something, but thereabouts should probably be the line. But I didn't see Beardo's video because he's pulled it down, but apparently Beardo did a video on it and they didn't like it because they covered him, but he didn't cover his friend Khaleesi, who went to the same church 2 years ago and dressed up as Jim and delivered, or mini sermon, but it doesn't matter, delivered a sermon trying to piss Jim off. And that is certainly better than playing the death tapes. I don't think it's appropriate, but it is more appropriate than playing death tapes. And basically, I think that's roughly what it boils down to, is that they don't like his hypocrisy because he doesn't handle things how they think he should handle things. And I don't know my opinion on whether I would speak. Like, if one of you guys was out there faking ghost content or whatever, I don't know that I would make a hit piece on you. Like, I might just leave it alone. I don't know. Agreed, it feels like every time there's a horrible tragedy, true crime is always there bringing in their hands. Exactly. And like, by all means, tell these stories. Get them out there. But you need to be mindful of the families. It's like, I recently did a video on Huff. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but that was hard for me. And Rainbow knows about this as well, I think. I think a couple of you guys, if you're in the voice chat, you know about this. But like, Huff has been covering true crime. He's like spoken to Dharma, and but yeah, the Epstein one really hit me because of my past. There needs to be some tact with it, and there just isn't. A lot of people don't care. There needs to be a taste level. Yeah, exactly. And there isn't. People don't care. Like, Huff, like, he waited 2 days. 2 days after Ozzy Osbourne died before he was talking to him on his spirit box, and that was probably enough to do the spirit box session, edit it and upload it, and let it sit in YouTube long enough for YouTube to know what to do with it. Investigative journalism is important, but sensationalizing trauma is gross and so damaging to survivors. Exactly. And there is so much of the sensationalism in the paranormal community, and I don't like it when it's like, random 12-year-old girl 38 that you can't fact check or corroborate in random urbex location 29 because you can't check it. It may or may not, it's probably not true, but it may or may not be true. But it's completely different when you're naming actual survivors or actual victims with actual families, especially when it only happened a day ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 20 years ago. Because obviously the first thing Ozzy Osbourne is going to do right after he dies is talk to a random YouTuber. Exactly. If his ghost is doing anything, it's bugging the absolute living shit out of Sharon, because that's what they were like in real life. But it's like he did the Queen as well when the Queen died. Because the Queen's priority when she dies is to go talk to a random American YouTuber. It's pathetic. Imagine though. I kind of want to watch the Queen Elizabeth video now and we can just like rip the shit out of it. We could do that. Hi, nobody's going to believe you, but I'm the Queen. You know, a lot of us are British in here. We could do that. Don't have to spin the wheel. But it's only 8 minutes, so we could do this. Oh look, Hope Paranormal did it as well. Oh, Wazuki? Oh, the Queen's been busy. Yeah, I think it was just those three. Oh, Diana as well. Okay, but yeah. Lizzie's been busy. She was a very social butterfly, bless her. She was. Diana would never. Okay, so Queen Elizabeth. Does it give me an actual upload date? September 9th. When did she die? I can't remember. All I remember is the Spiffing Brit did a live stream and I was in it. And so was Freddie. And we were in the same live stream and we had no idea. 8th of September. Wow, he waited a day. A day. Lizzie was on it. I love you all. Remember that love is the key. This is a spirit box I have done. So many of you have emailed and messaged me today about this. How many people are realistically emailing him within 24 hours? There have also been many comments asking for this. And if we're not for all of you, this channel would cease to exist. Yeah, well, maybe it should. Also, can we talk about 1.6 mil subscribers? That's insane. I love you all. And this is a beautiful real spirit box session for the Queen who passed today. It was not even 24 hours at the age of 96. This session is all about respect, as her life should be celebrated. We should not be sad. We should be dancing to celebrate her accomplishments and the fact that she lived a long, wonderful life. I can tell you that her soul felt beautiful. She is the real deal and she is the light. Love you all. How many times are you going to tell us that you love us? This feels like fucking love bombing. How I connect with spirit and what I do. Problem loading page. Cool, that page does not work. It was found to be violating our terms of service. Wow, that's great. Oh, subscribe. That was that one. I wanted this one. Yeah. No, it can't get to that site. Disclaimer, my videos showcase advanced real spirit communication techniques and devices. I am always testing new ideas and techniques. I can never guarantee that the spirit I am trying to reach is the spirit coming in. We have to go by the answers and what comes in. In some sessions, there may also be the possibility of a false positive, but the general rule is that if the answers are direct, make sense, and answer the questions when these are legitimate spirit replies, I quadruple check this one for false positives and found none. Laying it on thick, exactly. My voice imprint technique has been incredible and it is what I use for most of my sessions along with my bridge device. It allows for conversational sessions that are clear, direct and with one spirit. The days of fast scanning radio in my videos are over, as my goal is to progress ITC and see what is possible with real spirit contact. I love you all. So how many love yous was that? That was 1, technically 2, because love is the kid, 1, 2, 3, 4 in one very short description. Can I get to his website at all? No. So his website just doesn't work anymore. He stopped paying for it. Who's in? Oh, people mentioned I was going to say who's in this video, and I was like, I feel loved. Don't. It's a trap. I see death differently from most people. Since I've been working with spirits for dozens of years, I see respect as allowing them to have a voice and not deny, shouting that one, them a voice when they want to be heard, and to celebrate their lives as we should. Death is not about darkness, it's a new beginning and our soul lives on. What I do is not what every TV channel and news network does. What news networks are doing this? as they camp out waiting for her demise so they can get ratings. That's exactly what you've done. You did it the same day she died. I have done these sessions for as long as I have because I fully understand that death is not a death at all. Doing what I do here allows souls to speak again, and it's always based on love and only love. Even her messages were of love, and we should take comfort in that. As I've said on the day I pass, I want all of you to try and reach me, as it would be pretty sad if I had things to say and people were afraid to contact me. Love is always the key, not hate, not anger and trash talk, as so many do today. If this work still exists in 20 years, things such as this will be welcomed and accepted as more people understand that what death really is. It is not the end. If you do not agree, then you probably should not watch or be here at all. Hate and trash talk will only get you blocked, as this channel does not allow negativity and nonsense to be spread. Thank you and love you all. I, for one, will not be trying to reach this person on a spirit box. Okay, top comment though. You have a message for Charles? Yes, divorce Camilla. Top comment. Love it. The thing is, if this channel does not allow negativity and nonsense to be spread, delete it. Delete the channel. Because it is spreading nonsense.
Earlier you said you saw William. Do you have a message for him? Love. Love him? Is your soul here with me, Elizabeth? First I died.
The little Lizzie at the bottom left is sending. I would 100% be the ghost who would sing pop songs at the top of my lungs to annoy someone. At least you'd be good at it, Annie. But it's the fucking reverb on this shit, it gets me. Why does the spirit box look so phallic? Because it has to have a crystal on it. I don't even know what that is. It just looks a bit like a crystal ball. Like, I'm not really sure what the purpose of any of this is. Copper wiring to a crystal to like boost it spiritually or whatever does not work. Because like, what is it even? I read into this because Frank's box, which is like one of the first spirit boxes, had copper wiring going into it. And it basically said something like, it's not doing anything. It's there for aesthetics. And that the guy didn't understand what he was doing. He had like rudimentary electronics knowledge and that was about it. What would you sing? Pick something with some decent reverb you can't achieve in life.
I know, we lost you just today. Queen Elizabeth, I send love to your soul. Thank you so much.
Okay, he wasn't being specific as to which Queen Elizabeth. Like, can you imagine if this was real for like half a second? But if he was talking to Elizabeth I instead of Elizabeth II.
This is too cool, guys. And remember, her life should be celebrated, right? When we pass, our soul energy leaves our body according to spirit. Been doing this a long time. And that energy can still come back. That energy goes to a light if we are meant to go to that light. Not everybody goes to the light, but most of us do and will. This is absolutely fascinating. Do you have anything else to say? All sad, your family and fans and those who love you, they are sad today. Is your soul here with me, Elizabeth? First I died. I know, we lost you just today. And it is a fact that the best time to reach a soul, the easiest.
Imagine she's just like, Spanish Armada! Exactly! Elizabeth I, I know she was like a woman of her time, but she was fucking brutal. She murdered her cousin, for fuck's sake.
Is the first 48 hours. Been doing.
I would definitely want to process the fact that I died before I talked to this man's crystal dick. Respectfully. Same. I would like want to go like lurk around my family and grieve with them. I'm not fucking off to America to talk to this dude.
This a dozen years, guys. But your soul didn't die. Your soul still lives. Our soul is eternal. I am Steve Huff. I feel an energy across my back and shoulders. Is that your energy? I'm gonna miss you.
It didn't say you. I'm sorry. If there was nothing after miss. Don't just insert a word. You'd be like, ooh, afterlife. How does this work? Exactly. You'd be like experimenting with your ghostly powers or whatever. I really want to like do some kind of research or whatever into near-death experiences or like people who have like flatlined but come back. I got interested in a Netflix documentary called Surviving Death, and that had a really, really cool story on it of this woman. I think she was a doctor. I can't remember. It's been a while. And she was canoeing or kayaking, whatever, they're the same thing basically, with her friends, and or they were white water rafting or something. They were doing something with water and boats. And she capsized and was being dragged along with the current underwater. She was underwater for like a good 15 or so minutes. And realistically, should not have survived that. Like the brain damage she should have received from the lack of oxygen going to her brain for that long. She should have been dead. And she survived and she's fine. But when she was out, she talked about like observing her body, basically, the river. And she was like full of like this euphoric peace. And she was, I don't remember the story in its totality now, but she was like with somebody or in like this like other space. And it's like she could be everywhere at once. And it was so euphoric she didn't want to leave, but she whoever was there with her was like, no, you have to go back, it's not your time, you have to go back to your body now. And she didn't want to. And as someone who's had a near-death experience, if she's describing the same sort of euphoric feeling I felt, oh, I get it, I fucking get it. But this is part of what, I mean, I've always been interested in the supernatural and the paranormal and what goes bump in the night, the mysteries. I love a mystery, I love a theory. But I have had, thinking about it, several near-death experiences, but only one. One fucked me up physically, the other fucked me up mentally, and then the others after that were just like, it's another Tuesday, which was pretty much my life at that point. I think if I had another near-death experience now, it might fuck me up a little bit more, but it's fascinating. Like, this sort of stuff's fascinating to me. And also, like, haunted people syndrome. I want to do more research on haunted people syndrome. I touched on it briefly in a video. I think I called it something like, are you haunting yourself? But it's like people that have been through more traumatic experiences are more, I'm not sure if more prone is the right phrasing, but they report or can report more paranormal phenomenon. And I'm not saying it's ghosts, right? But a lot of weird shit happens around me. Freddie's told me I'm a very spooky person to live with. And that comes from Mr. Non-Believer, Mr. Skeptic over there. And my mum was a very, like, she believed because she'd had an experience with what she thought was a ghost when she was younger. But if we're being realistic, she was also a very traumatized person. So the haunted people syndrome still kind of works. But she would always dismiss me being like, there's something weird in my house. Not this place I used to live before. I would always be like, there's something weird in my house. And she'd be like, oh, no, it's pipes or whatever. And so one night things were really kicking off in my house. I don't know what the fuck was happening. Yeah, and she just looked at me like, what's happening right now? And I was just like, oh, I don't know, it's just house noises. And she just looked at me and was like, this is not house noises. And I was like, okay, whatever. I just completely dismissed it because that's what she'd done to me my entire life. And also, I didn't want to talk about it. But yeah, I'm fascinated by haunted people syndrome. And I want to do more research on it. But I don't actually know if there is more research that's been done on it or if I've kind of tapped that vein dry. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to good old Liz. Spirits usually only stay on for 3 to 5 minutes. She wanted to get that message out.
You are so beautiful, such a sweet, sweet woman. I am honored. I Steve Huff, I come with love. I'm envisioning the light coming into this room. And I see
with his YouTube plaques on the wall.
You with a white light around you glowing and your smile. This is absolutely incredible. The energy I'm feeling is intense. It's beautiful. It's amazing. When you feel that light energy, it's almost like a high of sorts, but a very love-filled high. It's not a drug high. It's
Aside from this being ridiculous, how is he managing to make it so creepy? I don't know. I think it's probably because of the camera angle. He just sort of grabbed the camera and yanked it. He was just like, come here. It's like, no, I'm good. And I think he handled the video I covered of him, which isn't out yet. He was very sort of like face on with the camera, like camera was level, he was face on. He was very sort of like, I'm about to read you a bedtime story kind of vibes. So he's mastered the vibe. This is creepy. The new one, which kind of upset me a bit, the vibe's down. Little left corner Lizzie is so transparent too. He really said spirit chic. But how else are people gonna know that she's dead?
remarkable. Let me get back to recording. If she's still here, she will talk. Do you feel that love energy? Embrace the love energy. That's what she means. Now, spirits don't talk as fluid as we do. They're energy. They're not physical. So keep that in mind.
Convenient.
What they're doing here is a miraculous feat.
What in the Wally is going on here? This is his spirit box, and he's talking to Queen Elizabeth II the day she died because she had nothing more important to do. You can't say, do you feel that love energy to a deceased queen? Show some decorum. Stop. I'm true, it's true. It's what he's doing. A spirit session for Queen Elizabeth, beautiful, full of love. The 9th of September, the day she died, the 8th of September. And this is his fancy smanchy spirit box with love in the background. Aww.
When they connect, and they don't always connect, the light is here. Now, a lot of you watching this kind of thing for the first time, if you are, I don't know if people will watch this outside of my subscribers because YouTube doesn't really push these videos out like they used to, but light.
There was a movie in the 80s called Short Circuit and the robot looked just like that thing. Did it? Oh my god. Can I spell? It's right there. Oh, it's adorable. Oh, I've seen this. Adorable. Look at the little guy. This is what the mimic in FNAF 2 is based off of, from what I've heard. It's the same without the crystal dick. It does. It does. With the eyes.
Is here. Love is here. This connection is made with that love and light, and over the years spirits have talked about that love and light. She sees the light, she's giving, she's receiving. You are amazing. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say through the bridge? Hey guys, so I just reviewed that first little session I did. That was more of a test. I did not think I would get communication there, but we did. So I'm back in the session room. It's about an hour and a half later, and I'm gonna try again and see if we can connect and get any more messages from Queen Elizabeth. I also made the lighting in the background blue. That was
because she doesn't have anything better to do than just hang around in case he wants to chat all day.
her favorite color. Queen Elizabeth, this is Steve. Would you like to come in again? I'll come in. Thank you. You know, I went back home and reviewed that footage, and I was blown away by your messages. And now we're back. And as I was home, I turned on the news, and you were on every channel. People have gathered for you. You're such a beautiful soul. Do you have any messages for Charles, who will now be king? Charles? Charles, yes! Wow, I just got an electric feeling all over my body. My name is...
I don't want to know about your body feelings. Stop saying come to the queen and just like have some respect. You can't talk to her like the average spirit. Like call fucking your majesty and all the rest of it. Like put some respect on her name. Jesus.
Steve, as you know, you met me. You said our first meeting. This is now our second meeting. I'm feeling an energy around my spine. Although Queen.
Yeah, sure, that's what that said. Not even close, but sure. Like, she's not going to be... why is he telling her she's all over the news? Like, she's not going to be excited about that. Bored by it. She was always all over the news. And what? And what? You know? Poor woman couldn't fucking fart without it being all over the news. She clearly asked him if he has a favourite soap. This whole thing is just bollocks.
Elizabeth, I feel an energy going up my spine.
Live in peace in the afterlife, no paparazzi. Exactly. I mean, she gave zero shits anyway, to be honest. Like, in the war, she was like... I think she was a nurse, but she was like running up and down in the... and driving around in the jeeps and the military vehicles and all that. She gave it zero shit. She was down and on there. She was doing what she wanted to do.
Fine. That's a rare one. I don't feel... I think I've only felt that twice. Are you with me right now? I didn't understand that. Sometimes I won't hear what you say until we play this back.
Turn the reverb off, then you might stand a chance. Why does she sound drunk? Because of the fucking reverb he's stuck on it. The reverb makes it more atmospheric and spooky, but it also makes it far easier and you get far more wiggle room with auditory pareidolia, which is why they all have the reverb whacked up to 11.
Elizabeth, you lived a long, beautiful life into your 90s. That is amazing. I saw that picture of you 2 days ago. You looked so beautiful. As you know, you can speak through this.
I'd ask her if she was actually a reptilian, as some claim. I don't think they are. They live very sheltered yet greenhouse kind of lives. It's not a way I'd want to live, because they both have no idea what the average person is living through, but they also are monitored every second of every day, and I couldn't do it. I'd be so annoyed if I was dead and someone told me my age. Like, come on. Did I say beautiful? Sorry, I meant to say ghoulish. Oh, Ben. She was beautiful for her age. She aged pretty well, all things considered.
This is all done with love.
Ow, it's loud.
I heard you say Charles when I asked about Charles. Queen Elizabeth, do you have a message for him?
Nope. That was not.
In for love this is.
Did not
That's
say
right.
William.
This is all about love and light. And when we pass, we go into that love and light.
Why are you
After 12 years of
stroking
doing
your
this,
wire?
that's the one common theme. Many spirits go into that light. That is the goal. And you're there. Queen Elizabeth.
Because Charles is totally going to listen to this fool. If she mentions the pegging, I'm going to believe it. It's really bad. Finally.
Elizabeth, earlier you said you saw William. Do you have a message for him? Love. Love him? That is amazing. You heard it, guys. Love him was the direct answer. This is too cool, guys. And remember, her life should be celebrated, right? When we pass, our soul energy leaves our body according to spirit. Been doing this a long time. and that energy.
Jeez, this is painful. It really is. And I've decided this is what I want to do for my YouTube career. She loved her grandson. Who would have guessed? Ben spitting bats. No mention of Harry. Yeah, well, Harry's the problem child. Child.
Can still come back. That energy goes to a light if we are meant to go to that light. Not everybody goes to the light, but most of us do and will. This is absolutely fascinating. Queen Elizabeth, I send love to your soul.
Guys, will you avoid the light with me? You know, if one of us don't go to the light, we all don't go to the light. Like, solidarity. We'll haunt some rando together or something.
Thank you so much.
Wow, I feel so much better for watching that. Oh my god, look at his profile picture. I plan to haunt this guy on stage, but then you're giving him content. That's what he wants. Imagine if you said, yeah, I don't like the ginger one. Not even related to me. It's part of that guy. Just gonna tell him I'm random celebrities and say I love my family. Yeah, so that was Huff.